Right now the goats are all pregnant. They're just kind of hanging out for the winter. I still run them through twice a day. This is where I would normally be milking them. Just give them a little grain, make sure everyone's okay.
Or seek water in neighboring communities where the COVID.
Cupcake came up last.
Yeah, she's been knocked to the very bottom of the pile.
Oh, she's my favorite ghost.
So mean to her. Did she really? You're just waiting for you to smack her? It's all pecking orders. So what's about to happen is going to be the highlight of the day for the goats. Which is I'm going to bring a couple Christmas trees around to them. Yummy. Good girl.
Okay. So we milk them from April through December, through early December, and then we spend some time drying them off in December. And we just basically he just stopped milking like 2 weeks ago. So now we're fully in winter mode. We can drain the water in the barn, which is really nice because it would freeze.
Right.
So he ties them up to make it easier for the goats to access the full tree.
Right.
Maybe you already told you that.
And by the end, they're like a mile, they'll look like that. Trees lying out in the snow there, just completely stripped down, bark taken off. And then we burn the rest and get a good fire going, and so it's a good ending for Christmas trees. But that's pretty much all I do with them. I make sure everyone's okay, and then go in the house and warm up. Come on, Marvel. They're good girls. Yeah. It's cold.
So sometimes they get the sap sort of like stuck around their faces, and then they get dirt, and so it looks like they have makeup on. Although in a weird way, like black around the lips.
Right.
So we put eggshells in on top for them to get the calcium.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. Oh, look, they're all in the back. Or most of them. So when it's this cold, we have to collect eggs a couple times a day, or they'll freeze. Settle down. Oh, 2 eggs already. Wow. Someone gave us a bunch of. Oh, 3. Wow. Holy moly. Oh, see, this is one. This one's already frozen, which it might be from last night that whoever collected eggs didn't see. Might have been under a hen. But yeah, these are all pretty cold. Wow.
Hi, my name is Adam. I'm here at Husky Meadows Farm in Norfolk, Connecticut. This is what organic vegetable production looks like in the wintertime. It's a lot of office work. We're spending a lot of time planning for the field this coming season. Beyond the office work, we're doing a little bit with experimental indoor mushroom growth. I brought these hardwood sawdust blocks from my farm just down the road. They're chestnut mushrooms, really tasty gourmet mushroom. We're also doing pearl mushrooms and shiitakes. The shiitakes, we have logs, 150 logs out in the woods, and starting next week we're going to be hauling them out of the woods to inoculate them with the Shiitake mycelium, and that will take about a year, and in 2022 we will have fresh, delicious, gourmet, organic shiitake mushrooms to provide for our customers. So beyond that, we're ordering all of our supplies. We're going through and ordering seed. We've got hundreds of packets of seed, and we're just getting ready. We're really looking forward to the coming season. So these are our shiitake logs. Back in December, I spent a few days out here marking trees, trying to find trees that are suitable for shiitake log production. It's all hardwoods, white oak, red oak, sugar maple, a little bit of soft maple, red maple, some black birch. But you don't just cut down trees, you have to come out here and really look to find the trees that are diseased, that are overtopped, that aren't going to grow into the upper canopy. Boring beetles, bark diseases, anything of that nature. Those are the trees that you're going to take for shiitake production as part of a sustainable forest plan. The future sugar bush here at Husky Meadows goes down the hill this way, so a lot of these trees came from the sugar bush as a means to release the diseased trees and the trees that aren't going to be able to compete into the upper canopy, and to provide the maple trees with more resources, more space to grow. It just makes the sugar bush overall a healthier place. That's still a couple years down the road, but in about a week we'll be hauling these down to the hoop house to start inoculating them, and that's quite the process. You have to drill holes, insert the shiitake mycelium. It's mycelium that's in hardwood sawdust. So you take a special tool and you inject the sawdust into the logs essentially, and then you cover it with wax, and they sit for a year. And then after a year, you're ready to go, and you force fruit some of the logs. Differences between cold weather strains, warm weather strains. There's a lot to it, but I don't know. That's pretty much the story with these logs. There's 150 logs here. Next week it's going to get exciting, and it'll take, if 2 of us do it, it'll take about 2 weeks to get done, just because we have everything else going on with crop planting right now, and the whole seed and spoon is taking up a lot of time. If a whole bunch of us do it, we'll probably get it done in a few days. But.
And what sort of yield do you expect from 150 logs?
Oh, it's quite a bit. So the way you the way you approach shiitakes, you want to have, every week you want to have shiitake mushrooms. So you block certain number of logs off. Let's say we do 25 logs a week. You soak them, and the point of soaking them, you're simulating the cold weather. So it's summertime, and then you're coming into the fall. It's getting cold, and that's when naturally the shiitake would want to fruit, right? The mycelium says, "Oh, it's cold. Let's send up the mushrooms." So that's what we're doing. Each week we're doing about 25 to 30 logs. We're going to soak them. They sit for a week, and then from that you get anywhere from 15 to 17 pounds of fresh shiitakes per week. So it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it. I mean, they're delicious, and the reason you block them off into groups of 25 or 30 again is so you can have enough logs to do, you know, a certain set one week. Then they have to rest for 7 to 8 weeks. That group of logs that you just soaked, they rest, and you do another one, and then those logs rest. So you're doing a full circle. You know, it's a full cycle. Once you're done 2 months later soaking your sets of logs, that first set that you soaked is ready to go again. Right? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. And so does that cycle go year round, or?
No, so it's just going to be the summer. That's the warm weather strain of shiitake. You do that, you know, starting May, June if you're lucky, and then you do that through about October. There are cold weather strains of shiitake, which we're going to do maybe 50 logs of cold weather. Those stay. You don't soak those. They're going to just fruit naturally with you know, coming out of summer into fall, and then winter into spring when it warms up a little bit. You're like that 40-ish, 44, 45. That's when you'll start seeing the cold weather strains start to show themselves. So, you know, it's a lot of work and it's a lot to think about, but, you know, making it work is worth it because it's a delicious mushroom, and everybody loves them. So. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing now. Probably a little messy now. These are our girls. One rooster. It's a rooster. There he is. He's a great bird. This girl right here, she's a full feather beauty. Beautiful. Nah, that's not happening.
Well, so this is the one I've been working on right now, and I'm trying to, I take off the top layer of all the dirt, and like some of the beds have broken, so I have to dig those out, and we have to refix those. Like you can see over here, they're pulling away, and so I'll get Grant out here with his power tools, and he'll screw it all back together, and then we're going to have to move all these supports because we have to rotate all the beds. And then later, when it's a little warmer, we'll get piles of, composted soil, and then we'll shovel that all on top and mix it all back in. And actually, I start seeding in about 2 weeks. So I'll start seeding in there. I'll show you the Germinator. And then I germinate them out here, and then I've figured out the easiest thing to do is bring them back into the house. So I set a whole lot of tables up in the house, and we just have seedlings everywhere for a month or so, and then I bring them back out here and repot them. So then we have stuff going back here too in these raised beds, but I don't do much of these in the winter. Actually, they just sort of sit there. And last year and the year before, we did a big experiment with planting in bags. You can see there are just a few remaining out there. I would say we've decided it wasn't the biggest success. So this year Grant has a big job. He's going to build a bunch of new raised beds in that first greenhouse. Oh, good. I think you got you got a rodent.
He's got it on film.
They
True
help,
action.
they help keep down the pests.
True farm action.
Oh boy, yay. So don't let him dig up those beds.
The heck is that guy eating?
So this one, for some reason, the beds are more frozen in here, and I think it might be because I still have some growing things in here. Maybe it's moisture. I'm not really sure, but I can't seem to shovel these out yet. And then these guys just got whacked with this latest freezing snap. They had been doing pretty well until then. And then you can see those are some of the bags that we used last year. Trying to figure out how to rotate beds when mostly what you grow is tomatoes. So that makes it a little tricky to rotate. So you can see these tables. This is where we put a lot of the plants once they start getting potted. Again, that's going to start happening pretty darn soon. And I've been bleaching out all the seeding trays and the seed cells themselves that we had used last year, and all the clips that we use. So it's a better example in the other greenhouses, but you can see here where the clips are. We hang the plants from those, and that's what those new hooks are, and which are so much better and so much easier to deal with. So we have to clip the plants sometimes onto them,
Right.
and so I bleach all those too. So that's another big winter project. That's my seating table. And then all these tables get completely covered with plants. Those are heating trays, heating mats. These guys are dead. You don't want to. I mean, they're not dead actually.
Right, right.
They just don't look very pretty. These don't look very pretty either.
This
After we get all the
contraption is
dirt
our
done.
seed germinator.
Yep. Oh, that's the Germinator.
It's a germinator, fills it with a bath of water down there, hot water, and steams it up, and usually you can turn a seed into a sprout in three or
Yeah,
4 days.
fast.
Nice.
Surprisingly fast. It keeps it at about 82 degrees, really humid, and they just pop up. And then they come on inside, load them in the back of the car.
Broadfield Farm is the old name for the farm. It's been here for a couple of owners, but we think it's more like Broad Wind Farm. Big wind.
Yeah, we always say that the wind hasn't touched ground since it left the North Pole. Junior, you're such a help in here. So you can see this was the bag experiment, the great bag experiment, and we did it for 2 years, and it's okay, but the plants just do not grow as heartily in here, and it's so hard to keep the bags watered properly. They dry out quickly. So I think we're going to put a whole bunch of raised beds in here.
Did you tell them you've been ordering your seeds?
Yes, I've been ordering my seeds. Been ordering my seeds and actually having more trouble this year than I usually have because I guess so many people are planting
Right, yeah.
seeds. So I've ordered from one catalog for years, and they filled my order but sent me an email saying all of these are unavailable. So I found a different company, and actually I've gotten most of them filled. But like I said, I will start seeding in a couple weeks, so they should be here in time, hopefully. And I've been doing that, and I've been plotting out my rotations for the garden beds, figuring that all out, figuring out what we're going to do in here. Grant's going to start building, I think, hopefully soon. Going to
What's
start
that?
building soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It is great. I start looking forward to it all at this time of year, I can tell you that. I start thinking about those fresh tomatoes. I freeze a lot of freeze and can and pickle and dry a lot of
Yeah.
our stuff, so we eat it all winter long. But
Yeah.
I'm down to my last bag of my frozen cherry tomatoes, and I just toss them in a bag and freeze them, and they are so good. I'll use them for cooking, and so realize I have to freeze more of them next year, I guess. They're good.
Well, Norfolk's a great town, and we're lucky to have a few local farms, I think.
Yeah.
Proud to be one of them. Last year, despite the fact we didn't have the farmers market, Kristen had a nice clientele. Did you tell them about your Instagram account?
I did not.
So she keeps.
Follow us on Instagram at Broadfield Farm. And I try to highlight what we have in the market each day, something new or yummy looking. Yeah, that's how I keep tabs with customers so that they know when we're open. Sometimes I have to close up for some reason. Let them know that way. Yeah. But yeah, we love it. It's all fun. All good.